Hi friends, today we're going to do a charcoal landscape project. For this project you're going to need one piece of drawing paper. You're going to need another separate piece of paper. It can be computer paper, it doesn't have to be good drawing paper, just any old paper. And then you're going to need some charcoal. So first I just quickly want to talk to you about charcoal. So charcoal, just like drawing pencils, some of them have different darknesses to them. So you'll notice that some are labeled medium. So medium is actually going to be one of your lighter pencils. Then you have another one that might be labeled soft or 4B. That's going to be kind of somewhere in the middle. You're going to have extra soft, which is 6B. That's going to be your darkest pencil. And then you should also have a white one. You can also do this project if you just simply have one dark charcoal pencil, preferably like a 6B. And the white. So you could make this work with just some charcoal, any old charcoal you might have at home. I also have stick charcoal here as well, which if you have, that's great. If not, no worries. So for this project, we are going to create a landscape that has atmospheric perspective. And what that means is when you have things that go off into the distance. We're going to do a really cool trick for this project. So first thing you're going to do is take your extra piece of paper and you're going to rip your piece of paper. Now hold on, don't get excited. You're going to rip it slowly and you're going to end up creating for yourself a mountain range that you're going to use in your drawing. Now, if you rip it straight, it's not going to be as interesting. So you'll notice I'm kind of taking my time and moving back and forth when I rip it. You don't want them to look too perfect either, though. All right, so right now I have that as one mountain range, and I have this as another mountain range. So I can use both of these in my drawing, or I can choose which one, or I can alternate between them. So for the first mountain, I am going to do these. So the way that you do this is you put your mountain paper down. Now, when you're looking at a landscape, the mountains that are the furthest away are going to be the lightest, and that's because they are covered with what's called atmosphere. So the lighter mountains are going to go in the back, and then the darker mountains are going to come forward. So to get my first mountain, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my charcoal pencils. Now, if I have a light one or a hard one, that's great. If not, you can just apply a different amount of pressure. So I'm going to start off with this guy here, and you can totally do this with the pencil. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw along the edge. And I'm just scrabbling. I am not drawing neatly at all. I'm just drawing right on the edge here of my mountain. I'm not drawing yet on my drawing paper. I'm only drawing on the edge of the cutout mountain ridge. Oops, I made a little bit, oops. So I'm going to kind of do something like this. Okay, so then from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a tissue, and I'm going to blend this charcoal going upwards, so going towards my sky. Let's see what happens. You want to make sure that you're always holding your paper down. And see, I kind of missed some of the sky up here, so I want to make sure I go all the way up. And whoa, got my first mountain range. That's kind of cool. So now my next mountain range that I'm going to make, I'm going to try to offset it a little bit. And I'm going to make it a little bit darker because coming forward, the mountains should get a little bit darker. So at this point, I can put either just more charcoal, I can press harder, I could try a couple of layers of charcoal. So let's see. I'm going to use the same one that I used. And you could switch to the other one. That's totally fine. I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to move it a little. And now I'm going to grab my other charcoal here. So the trick to making it look realistic is just making sure that the mountains that are closer to you are darker. And what I love about this project is it kind of reminds me of Vermont. And Lake Champlain, when you look across at the mountains, it's kind of what it looks like. All right. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to my other piece of paper. I want to have something a little bit different. And now this one, I want to make sure it's really, really dark. And it's okay to overlap. You'll get kind of a weird thing, but it still looks good. All right. So now what I've kind of created is just this nice feeling of illusion. It feels realistic and like things are going back into the distance. So now from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my horizon line. And then you can think about what kind of details you want to add to this drawing. So you're going to get kind of a nice mountainous sky. And then from here, you can add almost anything else to this drawing to make it cool. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make my horizon line, which is where my mountains are going to meet my ground. And in this case, I am going to make water. And you can feel free to do something different if you want. But I want to show you how to do water. And actually, I want to show you how you can kind of use this same template you have to get yourself the reflection of this mountain range, this, especially just this last one here, in the water. It's going to be really cool. So for the reflection in the water, what I want to do is I want to find the exact same piece that I used, but I'm going to have to flip it this time. So you want to first make sure, line it up and make sure that this is the exact same piece that you used for your darkest mountain right here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to flip it this way. So the exact same point of each mountain should be directly below right here. And now I'm going to put it on like that. I'm going to think about where I want it. Okay. Now we're going to see what happens. So I'm going to draw. For this mountain, you don't want to make it too dark. So I'm not pushing too hard. Just getting a light. And then I'm going to pull it. I'm going to pull this way. And there you go. So now what you've done is you've given yourself the exact outline for the reflection. So you can choose to fill it in. You could also choose to think of this area as the water, and now you've got grass coming up here. So really from here, you can kind of take this lots of different places. So from here, I'm going to make the reflection in my water, and that's still going to be pretty dark, but it's not going to be as dark as these mountains. So one thing you can do is you can kind of use what was already there from your darker mountains. All right, so from here, I'm just going to add some cool details to make it a more complete drawing. So from here, you can really add whatever you want. You can make some trees coming out. That's probably what I'm going to do, and you can kind of fix up the water a little bit. Don't forget you also have a white charcoal as well, and the white can draw right on top of the black. So you can really kind of have fun with it from here, and there's a lot of different things that you could do.